Lady Gaga and Madonna are both waging war on Trump over his new executive orders related to LGBT issues, including banning transgender military service members, as well as banning transition for individuals under the age of 19.
Yes.
Lady Gaga, in a recent interview with Elle, said that she is devastated about Trump's victory, but she believes that genuine connections and the power of community will get us through the next 4 years of the Trump presidency.
The power of platitudes.
They say, we meet 6 days after the results of the 2024 election are announced. Things fall apart. The center cannot hold. Mayhem has been unleashed on the global stage. She says, what's bizarre is I did not write my album thinking that this would happen. I prayed it wouldn't happen, but here we are. Lady Gaga endorsed Kamala Harris. She also performed at Biden's inauguration in 2021, which she has called one of the proudest moments of her life. The main thing is, I have so much compassion and love for so many people that are afraid today. I want to acknowledge I'm a very blessed person, and I feel really grateful for so much in my life every day. I know for a lot of people, this election was devastating for their existence, so community is going to be the number one thing. This just reminds me that we need each other and supporting each other is important. I am one of many people that supports the LGBTQIA+ and other marginalized communities, and we're not going down without a fight. We will stick together. It's going to be hard, but I'm up for it. We're up for it. And I just want everyone to know how deeply they're loved and not invisible. She has been an icon in the gay community for many years now. I don't know if you guys remember Born This Way was like a huge gay anthem before gay marriage was legalized. And people were just obsessed with that as a civil rights battlefront.
Well, there still was a civil rights battlefront going on at that time, so
Yeah.
it felt more real than what we have now, which is
It's not what I would call a right, but
a
yes.
bunch of side quests that are now going on because a whole new generation of people feel cheated out of the fact that they didn't get to have their very own civil rights movement.
And now the civil rights side quest that's trending is, cutting the breasts off of 15-year-old girls, I guess. That's the next civil rights battle.
Then you have to get into that's not happening. Okay, it is happening, but here's why it's a good thing. Okay, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That's a whole back and forth
Constantly
there.
shifting
What's the most interesting about all of these articles is that, look, I always kind of just give actors, and I know that people will hate me for this, but I give a lot of actors and artists the pass because they're emotional. They're very emotional. And they're, they feel on the top half of their brain. Let me try to explain. It was like when they see something horrible, right? And they get a really strong emotional reaction to it and they start writing pieces of art, whether it's music or movie scripts. They're thinking in large scale theoreticals that go into a story rather than the down and dirty nature of policy, which is kind of the opposite. It's actually antithetical to how they think. Because policy by nature can't always please everybody. But in their mind, they imagine that everybody can end up kumbaya if we all just come together. And that's when the platitudes come in. And I just I don't expect different thinking from them. So it's not really much of anything to me.
I don't actually agree that they're dreaming of a kumbaya utopia.
I think a lot of them are.
I think that they're dreaming of throwing people like us who dissent from their worldview in a gulag.
No, I think they think that they can change everyone's mind.
No, I don't. I don't think they want.
thing.
They're not interested in changing minds. I think that's been clear over the recent years that they're not interested in changing
these
the
cases
minds of
specifically,
people with
I don't
common
know.
sense. They want revenge, and they even in this quote she says, "This is going to be a fight."
To be fair,
this is what they want.
The gulags were for re-education.
Yeah.
They were to change your mind because the communists,
In theory.
They see themselves as so utterly correct that they can change your mind on it if you just saw things their way.
I think that someone like Lady Gaga, her identity is very clearly wrapped up in being an ally to the oppressed and marginalized. And just last year, I remember her posting on International Women's Day with Dylan Mulvaney And Dylan Mulvaney hasn't really been in the public eye since. I haven't seen anything Dylan Mulvaney related in recent months. But then when people inevitably pointed out, hey, this is International Women's Day, and you are posing with someone who is biologically male to celebrate it, she went on this insane rant about how hateful and discriminatory that is, and came out to basically white knight for Dylan Mulvaney. She sees herself as a protector, and that's why the gay people that run stan accounts on Twitter call them mother. That's why they're referred to as mother. Mother is mothering, because they view Lady Gaga and all of these different pop star icons as their mother figure who's there to protect them.
What is worse in your estimation, that behavior or the ones who do it clearly just for clout? Because there's also the whole market, like we were discussing the other day, the death of rainbow capitalism that seems to be going on right now as companies drop their DEI policies and other such things. That, you know, it has been very clear that while a lot of corporations only did these things because it was the fashionable thing to do, and it was what they felt could make them money at the time, even though it was proven later that that's not really ever been the case, there's probably a lot of celebrities that also feign allyship just because they think that it's a market share that they can enter into.
Which ones?
I'm speaking in the broad sense that being an ally is somebody is fashionable.
Most of the time, in those cases, it's a corporation or an institution that is feigning support for, you know, ESG.
So
reasons.
you think
When
most of the celebrities who talk about these things are true believers?
Absolutely. People like Lady Gaga, people like Madonna, and more.
Madonna
they
and Lady
are
Gaga
true
for sure, because
believers
it's been such a big part of their personalities and part of their brand.
and their careers.
Yes.
Madonna especially. She posted a tweet with one of her disturbing selfies saying, "It's so sad to watch our new government slowly dismantling all the freedoms that we have been fighting for and won over the years. Don't give up the fight." And then she just posted her tits. Like, that's the punctuation mark on her sentence.
Don't
It's
give
just,
up the
Here
fight.
are my tits.
Boobs.
She looks incredibly soulless in this photo. She's a husk of who she once was. I honestly think that Madonna's beef with Donald Trump is more so about being an unrequited lover. There were claims over the years that Madonna and Trump had some kind of romantic tryst. Several years before he ran for president in 2016, it was claimed that Madonna was one of the important, beautiful women who expressed romantic interest in Trump. And the claim was shared by Donald Trump's publicist, who was himself under a pseudonym, John Miller.
Genius.
John Miller, who is actually Trump, told People magazine in 1991 the same claim. So I believe it. I think Madonna is just mad at Trump for rejecting her.
I also think it's possible that there will be more fake in the way of allyship as it's become more fashionable in recent years. It was more risky to do when Lady Gaga and Madonna did it than it is for new people.
The times have certainly changed since when Madonna posted an animated video of herself and Hillary Clinton twerking. This was back in 2016, a month before the election. Hillary gonna snatch that presidency, so watch out. She's a girl gone wild. We all remember this, right?
I mean, is the design supposed to be insulting? It's kind of insulting.
A little bit, because Madonna made sure she looked really skinny.
Like, why is Hillary?
Hillary's
Yeah.
done dirty by this
Yeah.
illustration.
I hate it.
So the times have certainly changed, is the point. I never saw any posts like this about Kamala. That's for sure.
No, none. There was none from Charlie XCX or
There's
any such people.
plenty of memeing, but
Yeah.
nothing to the same degree. I mean, we remember 2016 and the kind of climate and conversation that was happening back then, and there was not as much vocal support for Kamala this time around.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they actually... It's weird because they were able to trick a lot of people into thinking that they were going to win. I honestly thought she was going to win. I did.
Well, Chapel Roan, I remember, posted about the election and said that she wasn't going to endorse Kamala, and she also wasn't, of course, going to endorse Trump.
And she got a lot of backlash for that.
She got a huge amount of backlash from her own fans for not endorsing Kamala, and now she's changing her tune, spreading love to queer fans in her new Instagram post. She said, "No matter what, just know when I'm up on stage and I'm really feeling in my heart is love to the queer community, especially those in places where it's unsafe to be yourself. I see you."
They don't ever actually explain where it's unsafe, but that's, like I said, they like to speak in platitudes.
It's ridiculous, too,
it's surface
knowing
level
that
in the
Chapel
extreme.
Roan grew up in what she calls Trump country.
Yep.
She says she grew up in a trailer park in the South as a queer kid and claims that she was unsafe, even though she was very much allowed to express herself and become the pop star that she is today. I don't know what reality these people live in, but it's about to get shattered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's funny because when it comes to Chapel Roan, she's part of the next generation of people that it just doesn't have the same. It doesn't have the same authenticity that happened back then because the image is shattered now because it's a marketable personality type for somebody like her.
Chapel Roan is kind of seen as Gen Z's successor to pop stars like Lady Gaga.
And
pop
she did
stars
get a
like
lot of
Madonna.
crap for, I mean, she did get a lot of crap for not endorsing a candidate. And both sides are, love to throw their own people under the bus when they don't fall in line.
But it's really just because she's too leftist to vote for Democrats.
Well, yeah, like at a certain point, it becomes indistinguishable, especially from the older celebrities. What is paying lip service to political progressivism is very different than saying I'm too progressive to support the Democrats, which is probably why they should have just gone with Bernie Sanders in 2016 in the first place anyways, and they could have had one big happy coalition over there, but they wouldn't do that.
The playbook for celebrities making political statements used to be much more clear.
Yep. Yeah, it's is there anybody else that you can think of? Chapel Roan is the one that comes to mind for me. Is there any other ones? I suppose Olivia Rodrigo is kind of in the same category now, except
category of fame?
No, as far as like pushing
yeah, for sure. Olivia Rodrigo has made abortion her brand.
Yeah, which is weird.
I mean, very heavily so.
Yep.
That's like her most celebrated cause, and she was like giving out Plan B to her child fan base. That's a huge thing for her. So she's been even more outspoken about her feminism, but it's just not the vibe anymore. It's not cool anymore.
Yeah.
They're going to realize that eventually.
Yeah, I wonder how many of them are so dedicated to it and how many of them only pay lip service just because they know that on certain holidays that they can get some traffic on their site by saying I'm an ally.
I am super curious to see what Pride Month 2025 looks like.
Yeah.
I am dying to find out.
It looks like June.
Just
June.
Are we going to finally
regular.
have June this year?
Yeah, can we just have
I remember June.
I like June.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.